So, hello, Per. Can you tell me a bit more about your company, EnerNOC, and yourself?
Sure. I'm the chief architect at EnerNOC. I've been there for 4 years. EnerNOC is a company that builds software to save energy. And it's about 10 years old. And we have the main business model is I can go through the main business model. It's on a hot day when everybody turns on the air conditioning and start using a lot of energy to cool things down. Utilities will call us and ask us to save megawatts of energy. And the way we do that is by working with a number of industries, sawmills, shopping, grocery stores, all these, and have set up a plan in advance for what to do in a day when we ask them to save. So we tell them to start saving. They save over a period of time, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours. And then we aggregate all those savings up and give it back to the utility. So if they ask for 500 megawatts, we can give them 500 megawatts. In that case, they pay us money, we keep some, and we pay all the people that contributed to that. And the way we know is to install meters on their buildings. We can then measure how they use the energy, and then we reward them if they follow the plan. And that's the main business called demand response.
Okay, well, thank you for helping the planet. That's great. What was the situation or challenge you faced when you considered evaluating a BPM solution?
And we have one of the process I just explained to you. When a utility calls us to start working through this curtailment, we have to go through a process, a workflow that involves every single contributor to this, and there are thousands of them. And that workflow was poorly supported in our software, and a lot of human interactions were needed. People set timers on their iPhones and other things to start and stop things. So we evaluated a BPM solution to enable that to be more fluid.
Okay, and BPM was the only solution you evaluated, or did you look at other type or other alternatives?
Yeah, we looked at, the other alternatives were to try to build that into Java code or some code, but I think in addition to that workflow, there are other processes at EnerNOC that also could use some automation, and so we looked at a capability, a technology that can help us both solve that particular problem as well as future problems.
Okay, and what is your process of selection?
The process selection is, first you do an investigation, obviously, to see what technology is out there. You have some core requirements that we had set out. In our case, we wanted a BPMN Cent 800 solution, as well as open source is something we looked at first. May not always select that, but that's the first choice. So once we have that, we then go through a rigorous technology evaluation where we look at all the things from high availability, security, what have you. And then we do a POC at the end to validate that what we think is, in theory, the right solution actually seems to be the right choice.
Okay, and how did you know Bonita?
So I ran into Bonita in my previous job when we were also looking at a BPM solution, and we ended up bringing Bonita Soft in there for a POC evaluation. And so I knew about it at EnerNOC, so I looked at it, but I looked at a few others as well.
And what strengths of the Bonita BPM made the difference, really?
Well, I mentioned the BPMN is one, but also the integration that it allows to integrate so it becomes a component in our overall technology stack. It's not self-contained. And the ease of use, we thought early on, the ease of use of building applications was very important to us.
Okay, and what advice would you give to a company starting a project such as yours or?
Yeah. I'm a big believer that technologies are enablers of what you want. So the advice I would give, don't look at it as the silver bullet to your solution to your problems, because it's also such a good tool that it can easily seduce you into thinking that this is so easy, I can do it. But I think it's important to evaluate what the actual processes are, whether you need to lean them before you do any automation, and the other part is business users wants to take it and run with it. And I think this is a software development tool like any other. So you need to be careful with releases and changes and version control and all those good things. So I think take a look at the bigger picture, not just the tool itself.
Did you face challenge using Bonita BPM, and how did you overcome them?
There were some challenges because we actually started using Bonita Soft it's more as an orchestration engine, and we had a lot of performance challenges early on, and we worked with Bonita, and we came through it with better designs, and Bonita Soft did a lot of work for us to help us, and I think we kind of pushed Bonita Soft a little bit on the performance side, but it's working fine. That's one. The other one, the version we were using in the beginning did not have built-in support for high availability at the time, so we ended up working with Bonita consultants to put something in place that worked. Now it's out of the box, so we actually have to remove that code, so that's a good thing.
And what are the main benefits that you got from the whole project?
But the main benefits is everyone feels the quality of the fewer human errors involved. In some of the human errors can cost us $100 million if we don't do the right thing. So I feel that the risk reduction and the people are actually sleeping at night. They don't have to worry so much. Before it was a human orchestration of work, and you could easily see how that could go astray. So that's a huge benefit for us.
Okay, and you said you might use it for other processes. Do you have examples or things you're considering?
So one of the processes is we call it the enablement process. That's when a new customer signs on, and what we have to do is enable them in our applications, but also install hardware meters out in the field and get that hooked up and running. That process has been very manual to date and slow, too slow. It takes too long from the customer signs the contract till they see some benefits. So we are now leveraging Bonita Soft in this enablement process that's going to help us improve dramatically the time to utilization of our capabilities.
Well, thank you very much, Per, for your time today, and we wish you a lot of luck with the savings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.